Hello everyone. Today we are going to see how to handle the exception in Spring Boot REST API. Client is sending the request, getting response. If everything is okay, then we are good. But if something fails to work like it's supposed to, then for this part of exception, an error message is thrown. What do you want to send as a response when there is an exception? By default, Spring Boot is providing a fallback error handling page and error handling response in case of REST request. Particularly, Spring Boot looks for a mapping for the /error endpoint during the startup. This mapping depends on what is set on a view resolver class. When no valid mappings can be found, Spring Boot automatically configures a default fallback error page. This so-called white label error page is nothing more than a white HTML page containing the HTTP status code and an unclear error message. This is what a white label HTML page looks like in your browser. We need some error code or error message that is sent as JSON and not some random HTML that Tomcat server throws up, right? There are a couple of ways we can approach error handling in REST API. The first is we can create an exception and we can throw it if there is no ID. Another way is we can customize our response. Let's first see the custom exception. When you use Spring Boot with REST API, then for that we have to create a custom exception class, employee not found exception. Let's first create the employee not found exception class, and this I want to be as an runtime exception. So I am going to extends runtime exception. Then we have to add serial ID because runtime exception have serial ID. Then we create constructor for this class. This constructor takes the string and calls the parent. So actually this exception is thrown when the data we are looking for is not found. Correct? Okay. Now let's save the code. Start the server. Go to Postman. I have added 2 employees already. You can see here for all employees. Now let's go to the next tab. I want to see the third employee. It's not existing. So let's hit the send button. So this is the response we get when we get for a non-existing employee. The status code is 500. Error is internal server. Now I don't want to send the status code 500. I want to send 404 status code. For this, you can specify the response status for a specific exception along with the definition of the exception with the @response status annotation. On the top, you have to define @response status value equal to HTTP status dot not found. Now save the class, stop the server, start the server again, go to Postman. Now hit the send button again. Now you can see the status 404, right? So then we have got our desired result, right? Okay, this is one of the way. Custom exception is the one of the way. Now let's see about the second way to approach the error. We can custom our exception. We can customize our error response as well. So I don't want to simply send the status code 404. If employee ID is not existing, then I want to send message employee ID 3 was not found. For that, we have to create an error response bean class that has date timestamp, string message, string detail. These are all the properties in the JSON Postman, right? So same way we will create that one. So let's first create the error response class, error response bean class. In that class we have date timestamp, private date timestamp, private string message, private string detail. We have Lombok here. So we will add all our constructor and also we'll add setter and getter. Okay, now let's save the class. And then now we have to create customized response entity exception handler class in the controller. This class extend response entity exception handler. In order to get error details to return the error response, we have to define a @controller advice annotation to this class. We will add @rest controller as well. controller annotation as well because this is controller class, REST controller. I have the code, I'm pasting it here. Here you can see auto exception handler of employee not found exception dot class. This indicates that this method would handle exception of the specific type. Below you can see written new response entity, right? HTTP status dot not found. This response entity create an error response object and return it with a specific HTTP status. Okay. So now let's save the code. Stop the server. Start the server again. Go to Postman. Hit the send button again now. Message you can see. Specific message employee 3 was not found. So we want to send the specific message, right? This is the customized error message. Now I hope the two methods to deal with the one is custom exception and another is customized error message are clear in this demo. Hope you find it useful. Thank you for watching.